Hi everybody, this is Ed LeBourne from Walnut Hills, talking you through a little bit of Noteflight. Again, some of you, this might be real basic because you've done it and used it already, but if not, it should be helpful. So we have to go to our specific CPS High Noteflight account, as you can see in this web address here, and I can send that to you if necessary. When you go to sign in, it should be, if you've not signed in ever, should be your full name. I know mine is Edward, but it came up as Ed, so and there should be no password. It should prompt you for one. But we can discuss that personally if you need an account. I can help you set that up. So once we get in here, in order to assign things, you actually need a class, and you need to make sure your kids have classes. So your scores will show up, so if you haven't worked on here, you won't have anything on there. If you go to Manage Site up top here, and every teacher has the ability to do this. On the left-hand side, go to Members. Again, there's 683 CPS high school or CPS members right now. Go to Members, and then all of CPS students are on here. Alphabetically by first name, or however, whatever, you know, from A. Kinney is one of my students. I just put their first initial and last name. So you can search by name, but you just might want to ask your students if they have an account. If not, if they have two accounts, it's not a big deal. So if you go to Add Students, you can then, again, type first name, or last name, first name, however you want to address that. And then you can hit Return. You know, you can hit Test 1, hit Return, Test 2, Return. I would leave the password blank, and it will prompt them for a new password. All right, so that's how you add students. Now, in order to get those students in a group for your class, you're going to go to Community up top. And these are all public scores up there. You'll scroll down. So these are all my groups here. And if you click here, you can see all the CPS groups that are created. So see, a lot of you actually have classes in there and groups in there. Okay, so go back to my groups. And if I wanted to create a group, I simply click Create a Group. I can then title it. I can change the picture. I can do all these things in here. I would leave the bottom the same. The administrator of this group assigns all members, and only members can see it, unless you want to make it public. But I would, you know, if it's for a class, you should just keep it that way. Okay, then create the group. All right. Now, in order to add students to the group, I'm going to go back to Community. And right now, I'm going to use this test group here. So you're going to click on the group that you want to add them to, scroll down to the left to Members. Now right now I have one of my students in here. So I want to add students. Now again, the problem is it comes up, the difficult part, it comes up with 683 students currently in CPS, all alphabetical by first name. So you know, once you scroll down, you're still in the A's, and you can click on this forever. So what I recommend is that you go up here to Search, and then I'm going to try to put another student in here, mine, Jay Souter. So whatever you're calling them is what you should type in here, and they're going to pop up. So I'm going to hit here, click OK. All right, and then I'm going to go back to Members. I can click Add a Souter there, and now I can see I have Josh Dewar and Jaylee Souters. You can also add teachers. All right, so I actually added Andrew Peoples as a moderator in there. So he's another teacher. So you can actually create a teacher group if you wanted to. That might be quite helpful, especially maybe for itinerant teachers, to be able to share things that way. Now, if I want to assign something to a group, I go to My Scores. Now again, I have a bunch of sample things on here, then I have actual assignments. So I'll go to Sample. Actually, I'll go to Untitled here. I'm not even sure what's on here, but all right, there's nothing on there. So I can create an assignment here. whatever you want to do. Go over to score details, right? And I can title it. I can select a genre, difficulty. Again, I don't ever mess with that. And scroll up. The share. I'm going to score is currently not shared. Click share score, and then enter the group name. So I'm going to enter this to my give a score title. Sorry, test score. You got to give everything a title. All right. Now I'm going to click on groups. I can share it to all site members. That's all 683. You know, a group or individual students if you are differentiating and assigning individual work. All right, so I go to groups, I go to tests, it'll pop up, test group number 1. Now, on the bottom, you can let people copy and export this score. So if you are sharing it like as a group of teachers, I would click that, and then that way the teacher has it on their own and can use it and it won't affect yours. Or better for students, make this an activity template, and then hit save. All right, so then if you want to go back anywhere, you go over click on the Noteflight, and then everything else will pop on the left-hand side, okay? And we'll talk about this in one quick second. So I'm going to go back to my scores here. Now here you can see, so these are all things that I've been working out with my theory students, and I can see how many copies or activity templates students have grabbed. All right. So, for instance, I can go over here. I can do one of two things. I can either clip where it says 6 copies, so I can see all my students that had grabbed it. I can see how many times I've looked at it, and then I can see if I made any comments at all. So let's click on. If I click on the name, I see every score for the student, but I'm going to click on this assignment, which appears that I've graded already. Now the great thing on here is that I can actually, so I put in the figured base, and basically kids were given the first, chord as well as the base line and the figured base. They had to put the Roman numerals in. I can mark things in colors. I go to score details, and then I can add comments. And that's our score, 23 out of 25. So the other way to do that, if I click on an exercise, so if I click on the left, I'm clicking on my exercise that I've created. So this is the actual sample. This is what the prompt looks like. And then I go to score details, and then I can view template copies. And then I can go back to the same screen. So just another way to get there. I think that probably about wraps it up. Actually, one more thing. Just so you know, if you have a personal Noteflight account, you can link them. All right. So when I click on that, it brings me to my personal account. And notice, well, maybe. There we go. Yeah, so I don't really have much in my personal account there, but you can just see that it is different. Okay, that's about it. If you got any questions, feel